First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rahah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. All right. Mario Zabak out of the GMS Dallas camp. Okay. And I'm going to entitle this lesson here, Instructions to the Elect. Okay. It's very important that the prophets, are obedient, okay, to Yahweh Shai, and this is what separate, GMS, okay, out of these other camps, all right, by keeping the sound doctrine, keeping it simple, no gimmicks, all right. We don't have to, be in uniformity, on how we look, okay. We're not trying to get numbers, be strategic in how many people, we can reach out. All right. You see, a man's going is of the Lord. Okay. How can he then know his own way? Roughly paraphrasing. You see, so we out here for the elect. Okay. So there was instructions that was given, to the prophets. All right. To the disciples. Okay. And what I want to really touch on is, the instructions that was given to the elect. All right. We were commanded. All right. So it's not an option. All right. It's not how you feel. Okay. It was a command. So let's get Matthew, the 10th chapter. And we're going to start from verse 5. And it reads, these 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth, okay? And that's going into the apostles, all right? And when you go into that word sent forth, the word in the Greek, in the Strong's G649, the pronunciation is apostello, okay, which means apostle. And the definition is to order one to go to a place appointed, to send away, dismiss, to allow one to depart, to send forth. Okay. So going back, you see, we're going to read it again from the top. These 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth, which are the disciples. The disciples, which are the 12 apostles. Okay. And commanded. All right. That word is very important. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into that one too. Okay. And this is Strong's G 3853. And it looks like the pronunciation is parangelo or jello. Okay. And the definition is to transmit a message. Okay. Along from one to another, to declare, announce, to command, order, charge. Okay. These are orders that's given from, deliverer, Yahweh Shai. Okay. From the top on down. So here at Great Millstone, we enter into the apostles, bishops, and elders' labors. Okay. So we're commanded to go out and preach. All right. So here at Great Millstone, we, stick to the doctrine. We all preach the same thing. We have the 100% truth, okay, through the Holy Spirit. You see? All right. So let's read that again. These 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth, commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Okay. And one thing you have to remember, when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, okay, the Northern Kingdom, they had already, came to the Americas, okay? Although, they was in the Americas, you still had some Israelites, from the Northern Kingdom that was, throughout the area, okay? But the whole point of what I'm getting to is that we were already scattered now. So some others were scattered. And then prophecy that had taken place after 78, that's going to take place after 70 AD, with the southern kingdom going into captivity. All right. You know, they were going to be spread among the Gentiles. So, which make them Israelite foreigners. Although they weren't going to actual Gentiles, you know, they were, you still had scattered Israelite foreigners amongst those Gentiles, the Gentile nations. Okay. So, so you can get a better understanding what's going on here, you see. And matter of fact, let's get a precept. Okay. Where is that? Let's get 1 Peter 1. And we're going to start from verse 1. And it reads, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, to the strangers scattered. Those are the Israelite foreigners, okay? Because we're under the curses, you see, throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, okay? So you had Israelites scattered amongst all of these areas, okay, where these Gentiles were, you see, because they're Israelites. They weren't Galatians, but it would be like today. I myself, you know, is an Hebrew Israelite, and I was born in America. So, you know, you would call me what? An American, or so-called African American, okay? But that's not the name that was given, you know, to the chosen people, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true Hebrew Israelites, you see? So it was the Israelite foreigners. That's what I would be considered, okay? An Israelite foreigner, all right? The uncircumcised, okay? And here, when Yahushua was on the scene, you had the circumcised, okay? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that was in Jerusalem, you see? Judea, okay? And verse 2, and it reads, I'm going to read verse 1 again, okay? Peter, an apostle, which means to send forth, okay, of Yahushua HaMashiach, the anointed, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Verse 2, elect according to the foreknowledge of the power, the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience. And that's the key, unto obedience. Okay, that's what make them the elect. And sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua, the anointed. Okay, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. You see? So the elect, this is who Peter, the apostle, was appointed to. Okay, the strangers that are scattered, because those are the ones who's going to, you know, take heed to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, that's why it's so important for us to do the work. And this is the work, the instructions that Yahushua commanded us to do. Okay. Now let's go back to Matthew the 10th chapter, and we'll read that again, verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Verse 6, and it reads, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay. And what make our people lost? Let's get that in Isaiah. All right. Let's get Isaiah, the first chapter. Okay. And we'll start from verse. We start from verse 1. All right. This is Isaiah 1:1, and it reads, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, which means Judah, which means the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And that's who was on the scene when Yahushua was on the scene. Okay, it was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the Jews. That's what the word Judah means, Jews. Okay, and Jerusalem, which is the northern kingdom, who was over here to the Americas. All right, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. Verse 2, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, For Yahweh had spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. And that's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? And this is why we get into the lost sheep of the house of Israel, okay? That's through the rebelling, which made us lost, okay? And brought the curses, Salakia, that you read in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting from the verse 15 verse on down, okay? And it reads, this is what make you lost. The ox knoweth his owner, okay? And the ass his master's crib. All right. But Israel do not know, my people do it not consider. Okay. So when you go into that, the ox not when you look at an ox and an ass, okay, these are two dumb animals. All right. So he's comparing these two dumb animals with the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay. See, these curses that you read about in Deuteronomy 28, okay, starting from verse 15 on down, are upon our people, you see. And through these curses, this is what's taking place. We're walking in darkness, all right? We're lost, you see. And that's why we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, because we kindled the Most High's anger, okay, that you, according to Jeremiah 17:4, you see. And it reads again, the ox knoweth his owner. Yeah, an ox do knoweth his owner. As dumb as he is, he still know who his owner is. But the Israelites, they don't. How do I know that? Because they still calling on Jesus, Allah, okay, calling on these different philosophies that they are into, these mosques, all right, Kemet, okay. They calling on everything except, and every idol and into every philosophy except their owner. And their owner name is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. So this what make them lost sheep. You see, they don't even know the true name of our power. Okay. So the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. Okay. And our people, where they think we from? We from Africa, from the land of Ham. No, we from the Holy Land, okay, in Israel, you see? And again, these are two dumb animals that know these two basic things, all right? But Israel, Israel is lost, man, you see? But Israel do not know, my people do not consider. And let's get a precept, about that. Let's get Jeremiah 50. Let's get Jeremiah 50. All right, Jeremiah 50 and verse 6, okay? And it reads, my people had been lost sheep, you see? Those are the people, man. You Israelites, okay? Y'all are the ones that's lost, okay? Y'all don't know who your owner is. You don't know where you from. Okay. This is what make the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true Hebrew Israelites, lost, man. Okay. And let's figure out who are the Lord's people. You see, let's get Exodus 3 and verse 10, and it reads, "Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people." Who are they? The children of Israel out of Egypt. Okay? So it's you Israelites, man. Y'all are the Lord's people. Okay? The Heavenly Father, the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right? It's our people, okay? Because our people are the ones that's, walking in darkness, okay? That's lost. That's what make you lost. Let's get a precept for that. Let's get Isaiah, okay, chapter 60, all right? And we'll start from verse 1. And it reads, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. Verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. Okay, you see that? So that's why people are walking in darkness, and we don't have the light. We're lost. When you're walking in darkness, you can't find your way, man. If you ever walked in a dark room looking for your keys, it's very hard to find your way. Okay, and this is why people are into all of these different philosophies. Okay, we got the zeal, you see, but we having a hard time finding our way. All right, let's get another precept. Matter of fact, let's get Isaiah 59. We'll start from verse 9. Okay, and it reads, therefore is judgment far from us, neither do justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity for brightness, but we walk in darkness. Okay, verse 10, and it reads, we grope for the walk. Salakia, verse 10 again. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. Okay, and that's without this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what make them as dead men. Okay, and blind. You see, and this is our people. All right, you don't have who is that? Ammon, which is the Japanese, Moab, the Chinese, Ishmael, the Arabs, okay? The so-called white man, the Edomites. They all got militaries, okay? They all know where they from. They're not under these curses like you Jakes, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? You see? Let's get but Jake have that zeal, And that's why, again, we always, thinking we spiritual, we got the answers, but, we continue to walk in darkness. Let's get Romans, the 11th chapter and verse 7. And it reads, what then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for. Okay. So you still walking in darkness, Jake. But for the elections had obtained it, and the rest were blinded. And this is why the title of this is the instructions to the elect, okay? Because the elect is going to obtain this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and do what Yahweh Shai commanded us to do. You see? And this is why these other camps hate Great Millstone, man. We have the sound doctrine. We do what Yahweh Shai told us to do, is go preach the word. You see? All right. Let's get back to Matthew, the 10th chapter. All right. And we're going to read verse 6 again. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Verse 7. And as ye go, preach. Okay. So that's our main objective, is to preach the word. Okay. Not worried about fitted caps. Okay. Not worried about, how you looking, what color your garment is. All right. In uniformity. All right. Marching, debating. He didn't say go do all of those things. He said, and as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay. Lifting up that banner. All right. You see that? And matter of fact, let's get Psalm 60 and 64. All right. This is Psalms chapter 60 and verse 4. And it reads, thou hast given a banner to them. And that banner is this Bible, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. This truth. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee. That's why it's important to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy is understanding. Okay. That it may be displayed. And that's what you do with a banner. Okay. It's made to be seen. You want everybody to know who you are, who got the victory. That's what happened when someone in the Olympics, they win a race or something. Okay, they get that gold medal. What they do, they wave their banner. Okay, this is the country I'm from. Okay, whether it's Jamaica, the United States, Babylon the Great, or wherever. Okay, that's the point. You see that it may be displayed because of the truth. You see, and this is why the prophets are hated, man. GMS is hated, which is a good thing because we got the 100% truth. You see, and through going to these to our people, as the scripture says, when we go out into the highways and byways, lifting up this banner, that gives them a chance to hear the scriptures, man. To be awakened. And let's get that. And this is part of verse 7 too in the New Testament in Revelation. Matthew the 10th chapter. Let's read it one more time. Matthew 10 and verse 7. And as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay. And let's get Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Okay. And we're going to start from verse 20. And it reads, this is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and will open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me. Okay. So that's the important as you go preach. Okay. Telling them that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay. Because through that, their spirit will be quickened. Okay. And we'll get that. And this is the elect that's going to be quickened. All right. Let's get John 6 and 63. And it reads, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. Okay. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is what quickens, the elect, the believers, okay, the true believers, all right, the sincere brothers, okay, who believe in 100% truth, the sound doctrine, okay, who understand it's important to keep the laws and also have faith in Yahweh through his death, burial, and resurrection. That's all that's important. That's being quickened, okay? Where that understanding is revealed to you. That's Yahweh knocking on the door that we just read in Revelation 3 and 20, okay? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.